If you know Miami, then you know it's known for its nightlife, cultures from different backgrounds, the beach, and the sun. But how do you think this famous city came to be? Well, in this video we will discuss about it. Even before the Europeans arrived, there was a Native American tribe called Tequestas who inhabited the southeastern Atlantic coast of Florida. There was a Native American tribe called Miami that lived around Lake Okeechobee until the 17th or 18th century, and Miami is named after them. When the Europeans arrived, the Spanish established a mission and small garrison among the Tequesta on Biscayne Bay in 1567, although the mission and garrison were withdrawn a couple of years later. Fast forward and the year is 1743 when the governor of Cuba established another mission and garrison on Biscayne Bay. As the mission had not been approved by the Council of the Indies, who was the administrative organ of the Spanish Empire for the Americas and the territories it governed, they decided to withdraw the mission and garrison the following year. The year is 1868, and a man namely William Brickell and his wife Mary, who he met and married in Australia, purchased 2 tracts of land in Miami, one of which stretched from Coconut Grove to the Miami River, which they purchased from a Mrs. Harriet English and her brother Richard Fitzpatrick, who acquired it by grant from the King of Spain. So in 1871, the family moved to southern Florida by ship from Cleveland, and they opened a trading post and post office in their home on the south bank of the Miami River, near the site of Fort Dallas that used to be a military base, currently downtown Miami. Their neighbor, Julia Tuttle, was from Cleveland too. She is credited with attracting the attention of Florida's East Coast Railroad and resort hotel magnate Henry M. Flagler, an American industrialist and founder of Standard Oil, to extend his interest to the area. Some say Tuttle is the mother of Miami and Flagler is the father of Miami. There's actually a statue of Julia Tuttle in Bayfront Park in Miami. The Miami area was better known as Biscayne Bay Country in the early years of its growth. The few published accounts from that period describe the area as a wilderness that held much promise. The area was also stated as one of the finest building sites in Florida. On July 28, 1896, Miami was officially incorporated as a city with a population of just over 300. Then between 1900 to 1930, Miami experienced a very rapid growth. In 1900, 1,681 people lived in Miami. In 1910, there were 5,471 people, and in 1920, there were 29,549 people. Thousands of people were moving to the area, and the need for more land quickly became apparent. Until then, the Florida Everglades extended to within 3 miles of Biscayne Bay. Beginning in 1906, canals were made to remove some of the water from those lands. Miami Beach was developed in 1913 when a 2-mile wooden bridge built by John Collins was completed. So an influx of new residents and unscrupulous developers led to the Florida land boom, when speculation drove land prices high. Some early developments were taken down after their initial construction to make way for larger buildings. The population of Miami doubled from 1920 to 1923. The nearby areas of Lemon City, Coconut Grove, and Allapattah were annexed in the fall of 1925 to create the Greater Miami area. In 1926, Miami was hit with a hurricane. Known as the Great Miami Hurricane, it devastated and caused catastrophic damage to the Greater Miami area and the Bahamas, accruing $100 million damage toll. In 1928, Pan American Field, currently known as Miami International Airport, was opened and began operating. In the same year, Al Capone the American gangster bought a home in Miami Beach. By 1950s to 1970s, the population of Miami County had risen between 495,000 and 1.2 million. During this period, most Cubans who lived in Miami returned to Cuba after the Cuban Revolution that unseated Batista and brought Fidel Castro to power. In 1980, there was a mass immigration of 150,000 Cubans to Miami by boat. To this day, it is the largest transport in civilian history. Most of the Cuban refugees arriving were poor, as some had been released from prisons or mental institutions to make the trip. During this time, many of the middle-class non-Hispanic whites in the community had left the city. Now there was 10% non-Hispanic whites compared to 90% in 1960. Miami also started to see an increase in immigrants from other nations, such as Haiti. The Haitian population grew in Miami, creating a little area known today as Little Haiti, centered on Northeast 2nd Avenue and 54th Street. In 1985, Xavier Suarez was elected as mayor of Miami, becoming the first Cuban mayor of a major city. In the 1980s, Miami became one of the United States' largest transshipment point for cocaine from Colombia, Bolivia, and Peru. The drug industry brought billions of dollars into Miami, which were quickly funneled through front organizations into the local economy. Luxury car dealerships, five-star hotels, condominium developments, swanky nightclubs, major commercial developments, and other signs of prosperity began rising all over the city. As the money arrived, so did a violent crime wave that lasted through the early 1990s. Then in 1992, another natural disaster happened. Hurricane Andrew, the most destructive hurricane to hit Florida, damaged and destroyed structures, causing more than $20 billion in damage just south of the Miami-Dade area. It's the early 2000s, and Miami is seeing an extensive boom of high-rise architecture, famous dubbed as a Miami Manhattanization wave. This included the construction of many of the tallest buildings in Miami. Nearly 20 of the city's tallest 25 buildings finished after 2005. 2007 saw the completion of even more of these buildings. This boom transformed the look of downtown Miami, which is now considered to have one of the largest skylines in the United States, just behind New York City and Chicago. The only thing that slowed this boom was the 2008 global financial crisis, with some projects being put on hold. Currently, Miami is the core of the much larger Miami metropolitan area with a population of nearly 6.1 million. It has over 300 high-rises, 61 of which exceed 491 feet. As a major center and leader in finance, commerce, culture, arts, and international trade, Miami's metropolitan area is by far the largest urban economy in Florida, with a GDP of $344.9 billion as of 2017. According to a 2018 study of 77 world cities, Miami is the third richest city in the U.S. and the third richest globally in purchasing power. Miami is a majority-minority city with Hispanic and Latino making up 70.2% of the city's population as of 2020. If you like this type of content, please consider subscribing and liking the video. It helps the channel a lot.